Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. In last session, we discussed the questions of KCET questions of sexual reproduction in a flowering plants, and today we are going to discuss the remaining questions of sexual reproduction in flowering plant, and also we are discussing the questions of human reproduction. Let's start without wasting the time. Just wait a 2 minute. Till 40 questions we discussed in last session. So today we'll discuss remaining one. Okay. Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the 41 question. Assertion. Pollination in maize is anemophilous. Reason: maize pollen grains are light and produced in a large numbers. Dear student, just observe the structure here. Pollination in a maize. Already we have discussed about this in a last session, but here little confusion is there. So first you should know what do you mean by anemophilous. That is nothing but an wind pollination. So pollination in a maize is a wind pollination in maize, and that is correct. In maize, wind pollination is taking place, and then reason maize pollen grains are light and produced in a large numbers. Yes, here if you observe, maize pollen grains are very light. Already we have discussed that wind pollinated pollen grains should be very light and it should contain a large number of pollen grains, as well as the pollen grains should be very uh, light also, right? So here if you observe, the maize pollen grains are very light and produced in large number also. So both assertion as well as reason are true here. So the correct option is option A, assertion, reason true, and reason is correct explanation for the assertion. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 42. Statement 1. Double fertilization results in both zygote and the endosperm. And statement 2. It's unique to gymnosperm. Dear student, you know that. What do you mean by double fertilization? Double fertilization means what? One male gamete fuse with the egg nucleus. That process is called syngamy. Yes, and then that results in zygote formation, and another male gamete fuse with the polar nuclei, and that process is called triple fusion, right? Triple fusion, and both the process, and it results in primary endosperm nucleus, right? So both the processes together called double fertilization, right? So the statement 1 is correct. Double fertilization results in both zygote as well as endosperm. And the statement 2 is unique to gymnosperm. Dear student, already I have repeated many times in the last session while explaining about the double fertilization. That is, it is a double fertilization and it is unique to angiosperm, not a gymnosperm. Okay, only in case of angiosperm we can observe this type of double fertilization. So the statement 2 is not correct. So the answer is the option B. S1 is statement 1 is true and the statement 2 is false. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa learning solution. Let's solve the question 43. Match the following. So here there are two columns. In column 1 there are questions, small questions, and in column 2 answers are there. We should match these answers with the question properly. So first one, coconut water. The coconut water is nothing but a free nuclear endosperm. As you know that in the coconut water there is a free nuclear, many free nuclear endosperms are present in the primary endosperm nucleus. So that becomes coconut water. So the correct answer is here for the coconut water, free nuclear endosperm. And second one, coconut kernel. As you know that coconut results in both free nuclear endosperm as well as cellular endosperm. So coconut kernel towards the periphery, it forms the cellular endosperm. So the correct answer is here coconut kernel, first cellular endosperm. And then endosperm. So endosperm is nothing but the pen. Pen is always triploid tissue. So this one is correct. And then D, embryo. So embryo will be having first it will be egg will be having haploid, that means N, and then when male gamete fuse with it becomes diploid, and that is what a zygote. So embryo is a diploid zygote product. So the correct final answer is here option A2, B1, C3 and D4. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalp learning solution. Let's solve the question 44. If a plant produces dull colored flower without scent but with feathery stigmas, its pollination mode is likely. Dear student, just observe the structure here. If a plant produces dull colored flowers without scent means what? So there is no possibility of insect pollination. If insect pollination is taking place, so the flower should be colorful and it should contain some scent, right, to attract the insect. So here it is not a colorful and without scent means no possibility of insect pollination. But with feathery stigmas, that means it is containing feathery stigmas means what? Here the flower is female one and it is containing feathery stigmas. That means it is able to catch this feathery stigmas able to catch the pollen grains easily, so that's why it has feathery stigmas. So its pollination mode will be the pollen grains will come through the wind. So this feathery stigmas of the female flower able to catch the pollen grains easily. So the correct answer is here Option A, wind pollination. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 45. If pen is 6n, find the ploidy of a male and female parent assuming normal double fertilization. Dear student, in case of double fertilization, what happens? There is a two processes, right? Syngamy as well as triple fusion. So here there is one egg nucleus, right? Egg nucleus. So egg nucleus usually that is N, the haploid in nature. But here we need to solve about the pen, right? So usually in case of uh, double fertilization, usually it is haploid in nature, so that it becomes 2n polar nuclei. When male fuse with the polar nuclear, that becomes 3n, right, in normal fertilization. But here the pen is 6n. For 6n, what here we can expect? So the polar nuclei will be deployed here. That means 2n, 2n, 2n. So totally it is 4n. And when male gamete fuses, that means male gamete will be containing diploid. That means here 2n, then it becomes 6n. If the male sperm cell is 2n, that means what? The plant is tetraploidy, right? There will be a two male gamete. So two male gamete means 2n, 2n. One male gamete is 2n, another one male gamete is 2n. So the male parent is tetraploidy, and then the female parent is also tetraploidy, because here it has diploid polar nuclei, here 2n and 2n. So here also the female parent is also tetraploidy. Okay, so male also tetraploidy, female also tetraploidy. So the correct final answer is here option A, male is foreign and the female is foreign. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 46. Assertion. In apomixis, seeds form without fertilization. Reason. It involves the fusion of male and female gametes. Dear student, please understand the question here. In apomixis, see, apomixis is a process. So here in this apomixis, without the fertilization. So without fertilization means what? Without process, meiosis process, seed is going to form. Seed is going to form. So that process is called what? Apomixis, right? Apomixis. So this assertion is true. So in apomixis, what happens? Without skipping the meiosis, that means without the fusion of male and female gamete, the seed is going to form, and this resulted seed will be having only maternal characters, as here there is no male and female gamete. So the seed will be having what? Only maternal character. It resembles only maternal. And then reason, it involves the fusion of male and female gamete. Is that true, dear student? See, apomixis means there is no fertilization. That means here there is no fusion of male and female gamete, right? There is no fusion of male and female gamete, right? So that is not taking place here. So that is what apomixis. So that this reason is not correct and assertion is correct. So the correct final answer is here. The option A, assertion is true and reason is false. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 47. Read the answer. A plant breeder uses emasculation and bagging before applying pollen manually. Identify the correct sequence. Dear student, just observe the structure here. Usually what happens during the emasculation process, that is what? Artificial hybridization process. So here this is done to avoid the unwanted pollen grains, right? So to expect the hybrid plant, here this emasculation process is done. That is what? A hybridization process. So here in case of emasculation, so what is process? First from the flower, the male stamen, from the stamen anthers are removed here first. What happens? Anthers are removed first. That process is called emasculation process. And next what they will do, after removing the anthers, they will bag the flower with the butter paper, so to avoid the unwanted pollen grains. Then after that, that process is called bagging. And after that, the desired pollen grains are applied on the stigma part of the female flower. On the stigma part of the female flower, they are going to apply the desired pollen grain. So these are the process, and then again rebagging will be there. After rebagging, so that again to avoid unwanted pollen grains, again they will rebag it and they will tag with the basic information. So this is what the process. So just read here all the options. Which option is correct, dear student? The option B, emasculation, that is removal of anthers, and then to bagging with the butter paper to avoid the unwanted pollen grains, and then next applying the desired pollen grains on the stigma, that is what? Controlled pollination. So the answer B is correct. Thank you. Hello student, welcome to the Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the questions 28. Just which part of the dicot embryo gives rise to the shoot system? Dear student, here this is the structure of dicot embryo. Dicot embryo, and here these are the part. This is root, apex, and these is These two are cotyledons, and here labeled A part is flimule. Flimule. If you observe here, this is root and this one is hypocotyle, and here these two are cotyledons are there, and this is the region of flimule. From here shoot is arising. Okay, so the correct answer is here option C, flimule. From the flimule shoot is arising. Thank you. Dear student, welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 49. Tapetum is diploid but contributes haploid material to microspores. Why? So here if you observe, there are 4 layers in the TS of anther, that is epidermis, endothecium, tapetum and a middle layer. So here the tapetum is a layer that is diploid in nature, which is giving nourishment to the developing microspores, right? And here this is not only giving nourishment to the developing microspores, and it also contribute to the developing wall of the pollen grain because it contains some enzymes. Okay, so it supplies enzymes, and it also helps to form the wall in pollen grain. So you have seen that the pollen grains will be containing two walls, right? The outer wall that is called exine and the inner wall that is called intine, right? And this outer wall, that is what exine, exine will be containing sporopollenin, right? Sporopollenin, that is nothing but contribution of this tapetum only. So the correct answer is here option B. It supplies enzymes and precursor for the wall material. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 50. Which sequence is correct for events after germination? After pollen germination. Dear student, already you know that what are the events are taking place after germination. Let me draw the structure here. So this is what the stigma, here pollen grains will be there. After germination it will form the pollen tube like this, right? And here there is a ovary part, here there is antipodals and all, embryo sac is there. So through the pollen tube the male gamete is going to fuse with the egg here, and then here with the pen, right? Polar nuclei here fuse with the polar nuclei to form the pen, and here to form the zygote, right? So these are what the process, normal process, right? So just compare the sequence after germination. Here after germination pollen tube forms, pollen tube, and then here what happens, syngamy process to form zygote, and here triple fusion process to form the pen. So this is what the process. Just compare these all process with this what options. So the final correct answer is germination and double fertilization, endosperm and then embryo. Dear students, please understand here there is little confusion. As you know that the male gamete first fuse with the egg cell and then forms the zygote, and then it fuse with the endosperm and then fuse with the polar nucleus and forms the endosperm, right? But here during the development, what happens? The endosperm develops first as it is giving nourishment to the developing zygote, developing embryo. So that's why the option C is correct here. First germination and then double fertilization and then endosperm development and then embryo. Okay, thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the 51 question. A diploid plant, that is 2n is equal to 16, produces pollen with how many chromosomes? Dear students, please understand the question properly here. A diploid plant. Diploid plant means what? That is containing two sets of chromosome, right? Diploid plant will be containing two sets of chromosome, that is 16 chromosomes. And diploid plant will be producing what? Pollen grains. See, pollen grains will be always haploid in nature. Haploid, haploid containing only one set of chromosome. One set of what? Chromosome. So here you need to follow small calculation. That is what? Only one set of chromosome is present, right? So n is equal to 16 by 2. 2 ones are 2 8s are 16. So n is equal to what? 8. Only in haploid, n means what? Haploid. So in haploid pollen grain will be containing only 8 chromosomes. That is what? Only one set of chromosome is present. Okay. So the correct final answer is here. Option B. That is what? 8 chromosomes. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the 52 question. First one, endosperm develops before the embryo. Second, embryo development starts from the zygote. Third, seed development proceeds fruit formation. Dear student, please read the question carefully and understand properly. See, while explaining the double fertilization events, I have explained that endosperm develop before the embryo, right? Because as this endosperm is giving nourishment to the developing embryo, right? So that's why this endosperm develops first before the embryo. So the first sentence is correct. And then second one, embryo development start from the zygote. Just if you observe the structure here, see, there is a zygote, right? After fusion of male and egg cell, it forms the zygote, and from the zygote, embryo is going to develop. That everyone knows, right? So, embryo development starts from the zygote itself. If you observe here, different shapes of embryos are uh, uh, seen. So, zygote develops from the embryo develops from the zygote only. That is also correct. Second sentence also correct. And then third one, seed development precedes fruit formation. Dear student, Both these process, seed and fruit formation, are simultaneous process. Simultaneous process. These are simultaneous process. Both seed and fruit formation, and seed develops from the embryo, and simultaneously the ovary forms the fruit. So both all three sentences are correct, and so the final answer is here option D. All three sentences are correct. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the 53 question. Choose the correct difference. Apomixis and sexual reproduction. Dear student, already we have came across this question before a minute. That is what apomixis. Apomixis is a process. What is that? Apomixis is a process that forms the seed without what? Fertilization, without the fusion of male and female gamete. And this what? That clones will be resembles their maternal parent. Maternal parent. Right? So that is what the process of apomixis. And sexual reproduction. So sexual reproduction, here it involves fusion of male and female gamete, right? And here it is undergoing what? Meiosis process. So because of meiosis process, here we can expect the recombination. Recombination means what? There is a exchange of genetic material between the parents, right? Between the parents. So we can parent. So here there is a variation in case of what? Sexual reproduction. But in case of apomixis, there is no any fusion of male and female gamete. So without the fertilization, is seed is going to develop. So just read all the options and find out the correct here. So the correct option is here. Option A, apomixis maintains heterozygosity. That is what? Here without fertilization, it is forming the clones, and those clones are only similar to the maternal parent. So that is what heterozygosity, and there is no any variation, and but the sexual reproduction causes variation, right? So the first option is correct here. And B, both maintains heterozygosity. No, apomixis is different process, sexual reproduction is different process. And both depends on meiosis. No, only the sexual reproduction is undergoing meiosis process. Apomixis involves fertilization. No, this is also not correct, because apomixis means without the fertilization formation of seed. So the final correct answer is option A. Apomixis maintains heterozygosity. Sexual reproduction causes variation. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 54. Assertion: polyembryony leads to multiple embryos in a single ovule. Reason: it occurs due to the fertilization of multiple eggs in the same embryo sac. Dear student, just understand the assertion and reason properly. Polyembryony leads to multiple embryos in a single ovule. If you observe this structure, yes, in case of citrus and all, see here, many embryos are present inside the embryo sac, right? So, polyembryony leads to the multiple embryo in a single ovule. So, the assertion is correct. Reason: it occurs due to the fertilization of multiple eggs in the same embryo sac. It is occurs due to the fertilization of multiple eggs in the same embryo sac. Is it true? Yes, this is one of the reason to cause the polyembryony, right? So this is one of the reason to cause the polyembryony. Polyembryony. But is this only the reason to cause the polyembryony? No, right? There are other two reasons. That is what? By splitting of zygote also, it results in polyembryony, and also it get developed from the nucellus and synergid other parts of the embryo sac. So these are also reason to cause the polyembryony. So here the reason which is not explaining other reasons to cause the polyembryony. So that's why this reason we cannot consider as a correct. So it does not explaining other reasons to cause the polyembryony. So that's why the correct option is here. Option A, assertion is true and the reason is false. Thank you. Hello students. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 55. Find the correct match. Here there are two columns. The processes are given and the site of the process taking place is also given in the second column. We should match with the correct question. Answer should get matched with the questions. So first one, a microsporogenesis. So as you know that the microsporogenesis, where exactly it is taking place? In the anthers, right? So in the anthers, microsporogenesis is taking place, right? And then megasporogenesis, so that is in case of female reproductive part, that is nothing but in ovule it is taking place. Ovule megasporogenesis. And then fertilization. Fertilization, where exactly it is taking place? Inside the embryo sac, right? So the through the pollen tube, the egg will the male will fuse with the egg. So that is what the fertilization. So inside the ovule structure, fertilization is taking place, right? Fertilization. And then pollination. So pollination means what? Transfer of pollen grains from one plant to the another plant, right? So that is what the pollination. So where exactly the pollination is taking place? These pollen grains will fall on the stigma of another plant. So the pollination is taking place on the where stigma part. So the correct answer is here. So the answers are given here with the correct match. So the correct option is here. Option A, A1, B2, C3 and D4. Microsporogenesis taking place in anther, megasporogenesis taking place in ovule, and the fertilization is taking place in ovule only, and the pollination is taking place on the stigma. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the 56th question. In an embryo sac, if one polar nucleus degenerate before fertilization, what would happen? Just think about this question, dear students. See, one is embryo sac structure, right? So there will be usually two uh, polar nuclei will be there. Two haploid nucleus will be there, right? What happens if one one polar nucleus gets degenerate? So only one haploid nucleus will be there, and when male fuses with this, it forms the pen, but the ploidy will become 2n here because only one polar haploid polar nucleus is there that gets fused with the male here, that is also haploid, so it becomes diploid. So the answer is here, the option A, endosperm becomes diploid, that is what, primary endosperm cell becomes diploid, that is 2n. Thank you. Hello students, welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 57. Identify the correct order in female gametophyte formation. Dear students, as you know that during my megasporogenesis, what happens? MMC cell, megaspore mother cell, will be undergoing meiotic division to form what? Four megaspore cells, right? So these are what? Four megaspores. Four megaspores. Out of four, three will get degenerated. Only one become functional megaspore. Functional megaspore, right? So the correct match is here, and then this functional megaspore forms the mature embryo sac by undergoing mitotic division, repeated mitotic division, right? So this is what the megasporogenesis process. So fill in the blank here. So the correct answer is here, the option A, one functional megaspore. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the 58th question. Which event ensures maximum genetic recombination? Dear students, just read all the options first here. Apomixis, as you know that apomixis is a process of formation of a seed, right? So apomixis is a process of formation of seed without the fertilization. Without fertilization, right? Without fertilization means what? There is no fusion of male and female gamete, and there is no meiosis also. So there is no variation also. And in case of cleistogamy, what is that? Cleistogamy means always closed flowers. Always closed flowers these are. So there is no chance of cross pollination. Only self pollination is taking place here. So there is no variation here. No variation. No genetic recombination here. And then vegetative propagation. So as you know that this is asexual reproduction. Here also there is no fusion of male and female gamete. So no variation. No variation here. But only in case of what? Cross pollination, that is called skenogamy, because here the pollen grains are transferred from one flower to another flower of the different plant. So here donor plant is there and here recipient plant is there. So there are two different plants and the pollen grains are receiving from the donor plant to the recipient plant. So here we can expect that here there will be a genetic recombination genetic recombination as meiosis process is taking place. Okay, so the correct final answer is here option A, that is cross pollination. Hello, hello student, welcome to everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 59. Apple and keshav are called false fruit because. Here student, just observe the structure here. So as you know that uh, this develop without the fertilization, that is not true. Develop from the they are seedless and they have no pericarp. These options are not matching. The false fruit is that here these are developing from the other parts of the other parts of the ovary, other parts of the fruit than the ripened ovary. So the correct option is here the option B. They develop from the thalamus and the ovary. Like ovary, from ovary also it get developed and it also get developed from the other parts of the fruit. So other parts of the ovary. So that's why this is called false fruit. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Which statement best explains the uniqueness of double fertilization? Dear student, as you know that double fertilization is very unique process and observed in only angiosperms, right? So here, what are the events here taking place for the double fertilization? First one is the process of formation of zygote. That process is called syngamy. Syngamy. This one is event. And another event that is called triple fusion. That is process of fusion of polar nuclei with another male gamete. It is another event, right? like these two different events are taking place and combined together called double fertilization, right? So which option is matching with the double fertilization here? Just read all the options. So first option A, two male gametes participate in two separate fusion events in the same embryo sac, right? So the two male gametes are participating in the fertilization. So this is the correct option. Option A is correct. Thank you. So dear student, here we completed all the 60 KCET questions of sexual reproduction in flowering plant. Thank you, and we'll again start the another chapter, that is what reproduction, human reproduction. Yes. Hello students, welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. So let's start another chapter, that is human reproduction. So the topic today we are going to discuss about the reproduction and male reproductive system and some internal structures of the male reproductive system and then structures of female reproductive system, both gametogenesis, spermatogenesis and also oogenesis, and the topic menstrual cycle, and then changes in the ovarian hormone. So these are the topics we are going to discuss today in the first session of human reproduction. So let's solve the question. Hello everyone, welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the first question. Human beings are viviparous, meaning they. A student, just observe the image here, that here the fetus is developing inside the womb of the mother, right? So there are different biological terms, viviparous, oviparous, and ovoviviparous. So here, as you know that we are discussing about the human reproduction. So viviparous, viviparous means they are giving birth to the young ones directly. So the correct answer is here the option B, give birth to the young ones. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question second. The pouch of skin that encloses the testis and maintains the lower temperature is called. Dear student, just observe the image here. If you observe properly here, this is the male reproductive structure. So here, if you observe, this is the testis part. Testis, a pair of testes are located here, and this is the pouch, that is skin of pouch enclosing the pair of testes. Pair of what? Testes. So this pouch is called scrotum. The skin pouch is called scrotum. So the correct option is here option A, scrotum. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question third. Statement 1. Ovulation occurs around the 14th day of the menstrual cycle. Statement 2. LS surge is responsible for ovulation. Dear student, please understand the statement properly. Ovulation occurs around the 14th day of the menstrual cycle. Yes, as you know that ovulation is taking place on the 14th day. Like ovulation means what? Here the release of the secondary oocyte, coming out of the secondary oocyte. Wait a second. If you observe here, ovulation means what? Coming out of the Graafian follicle, that is what secondary oocyte, that is occurring on the 14th day of the menstrual cycle. That is because, see, the statement 1 is correct. That is because LS surge is responsible for the ovulation. What do you mean by that? LS surge is nothing but LS surge means due to the estrogen content, high estrogen content, what happens? It gives signal to the pituitary gland, and this pituitary gland will release the luteinizing hormone, that is called LS. So due to that increase in the luteinizing hormone, ovulation is taking place on the 14th day. So the correct answer is both the statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. So the answer is option A, both true. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question. Fourth, match the following. Select the correct match. So here there are two columns. In the first column they have given the questions, and the second column they have given the answers. So first one is Sertoli cells. So as you know that Sertoli cells are So this is the structure of testis, right? And there are seminiferous tubule inside the testis, and inside the seminiferous tubule there are Sertoli cells. So these Sertoli cells are, so these are what? Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells giving nourishment to the developing sperm. So the correct answer is here what? Second one, nourishes sperm. And second one, Leydig cells. So these are also called as interstitial cells. So these are present in between the seminiferous tubules. So these are called leading cells. Leading cells. So these are secreting the hormone and that is responsible for producing testosterone. Testosterone. So that is helpful for the spermatogenesis process. This process. So the correct answer is here. Leading cell produces testosterone and epididymis. So epididymis is here the part of the testis after spermatogenesis. So the sperms are here going to store in the epididymis. So this is what epididymis. So the correct is C, that stores the sperm. So the correct answer is here option A, A2, B1, C3. Sertoli cells nourishes the sperm. Leading cells produces testosterone. Epididymis stores the sperm. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 6. Let's solve the Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 5th. Identify the labeled part A in the diagram of a sperm showing head, neck, middle piece and the tail. Dear students, already we have studied the diagram of sperm, right? So there are main 4 parts in the sperm. So that is what here head, this one is head and this one is neck and this one is middle piece and this one is the tail, right? So here they are asking the label part A. So in the structure of sperm there is a cap like structure. Can you see here the cap like structure? That is a cap like structure which is called acrosome. Acrosome and secreting some hydrolytic enzymes so that helps to penetrate into the ovum. So the label part A is acrosome. So the final correct answer is here option A, acrosome. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 6. Statement 1. The umbilical cord connects the fetus and the placenta. Statement 2. It helps in the exchange of materials between the mother and fetus. Dear student, Just observe the structure here. So this is the fetus inside the womb of a mother, and if you observe here, this is the umbilical cord, and here it is the placenta, which is derived from the maternal as well as the fetus tissues. Okay, so the first umbilical cord connects fetus and placenta. Yes, here if you observe here, this is the umbilical cord which is connected to the placenta as well as fetus. So the first statement is correct. And the statement 2, it helps in the exchange of material between the mother and fetus. Right. As it is connected to the placenta as well as the fetus, so it is helpful for the exchange of the material like gases exchange and the nutrient exchange also taking place through the umbilical cord. So hence, the correct option is here. Answer A, both correct, and statement 2 explains the statement 1. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 7. Assertion. Scrotum maintains a temperature 2.2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius below the temperature. Reason, a lower temperature is essential for the spermatogenesis. Dear student, just observe the structure here. This is the what scrotum structure. This is what scrotum, a skin of a pouch which encloses the pair of what testes. Pair of testes are present here. So here it is present within the pouch because as you know that the human body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. So here to undergo the spermatogenesis process, it has to maintain very low temperature, that is 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius. So the assertion is correct. The scrotum maintains temperature 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius below the temperature. And reason, the lower temperature is required for the spermatogenesis process. So the reason also correct here. So the correct option is option A. A and R true. R explains A. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 8. If LH secretion is blocked, which of the following will most likely be affected? Dear student, as you know that when the estrogen content becomes high in the ovary, when this is the ovary, so when estrogen becomes high, it gives signal to the pituitary, and pituitary releases LH. Due to the increase in LH, the ovulation is taking place, right? Ovulation is taking place, that is release of secondary oocyte. So this is what the process. So if this LH secretion is blocked, so which of the following will most likely be the affected? Sorry. So this is in case of female. But here they are asking in case of what? Male. So we need to discuss about the male here. So just observe here, hypothalamus will give the signal to the pituitary and it releases FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone, and these two hormones are secreting. So the follicle stimulating hormone, that is secreting the follicle stimulating hormone, and LH, that is responsible for the synthesis of what? Testosterone. So the which which of the process is affected here? So the final correct answer is option A, testosterone synthesis. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 9. Read the passage. During the luteal phase, the corpus luteum secretes the progesterone which maintains the endometrium. Second, if fertilization does not occur, the corpus luteum degenerates. Third, question, which hormone declines triggers menstruation? Dear student, understand all the question properly here. So as you know that during luteal phase what happens in the ovary, the corpus luteum persist. If it is present even after ovulation, after 14 days of ovulation, that indicates the woman would be pregnant. The woman would be pregnant. So that starts secreting progesterone progesterone hormone, and that maintains the endometrium, right? And then second one, if fertilization does not occur, that means what? Here the woman is not a pregnant, so the fertilization does not occur, and then what happens? This corpus luteum degenerates. So which hormone decline triggers the menstruation? If menstruation is taking place, that means what? The endometrium line should get breakdown, right? Breakdown and sheds. So that leads to the menstruation, right? So if endometrium should get breakdown, that means what? It should not secrete, the corpus luteum should not secrete the progesterone, right? So the which hormone declines result in the menstruation? So the answer is the option A, progesterone. Progesterone hormone resulting in the menstruation. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 10th. The table shows average hormone levels, arbitrary units. That means these are not accurate readings across the menstrual cycle. Which phase shows maximum? Just observe the table here, students. So these are three different phases, and both the hormones, three hormones are reading given here: FSH, LH, and progesterone. In the first phase, menstruation, FSH is 2, LH is 2, progesterone is 1, and ovulatory FSH4, LH10, and progesterone 2, and in the luteal FSH2, LH3, and progesterone 8. Here they are asking which phase shows maximum progesterone concentration. So just you observe the progesterone column. So the progesterone is 8 in the luteal phase. So the correct answer is here. Answer C, option C, luteal phase. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 11. The site of fertilization in human is the. Dear student, just observe the structure here. This is the female reproductive structure. So here it is the ovary, and this is fimbriae, a finger-like structure, and immediately above the fimbriae there is a region of the fallopian tube that is called infundibulum. And here, if you observe here, there is a junction. In the middle here, ampulla, and here it is isthmus. So when the secondary oocyte is collected from the ovary, that moves through the fallopian tube and moves to the ampulla isthmus region, and in this junction where exactly the sperm is going to fuse with the secondary oocyte. So the fertilization is taking place in the ampulla isthmus junction exactly here. So the correct answer is here. The option is B, ampulla isthmic junction. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 12. Label the structure in a diagram of the female reproductive system marked X, which receives the ovum after ovulation. Dear students, just we have discussed the all parts of the female reproductive structure, right? So here, so this one is ovary, and this one fimbriae, and immediately above the fimbriae, which part it is located, that is called infundibulum, right? And here it is ampulla, here ampulla, and here it is isthmus. So these all three are parts of what? Fallopian tube. Fallopian tube. So the correct answer is here. The option A, infundibulum, is the correct answer. The labeled X part is here, infundibulum. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 13th. Statement 1. A secondary oocyte completes meiosis 2 after sperm entry. Statement 2. Spermiogenesis occurs inside the seminiferous tubule. Dear student, as you know that secondary oocyte completes meiosis 2. See, during embryonic, in case of female, during embryonic stage only, n number of oocytes are released, synthesized, and then it stops the development, follicle development in the prophase 1, and then let me explain. So during embryonic stage oocyte get released and stops the development in prophase 1, and then when the female attains the puberty, again the follicular development will get start, and when the ovulation is taking place, it releases the secondary oocyte. But here it stops the meiosis 2 in the metaphase 2 phase. Okay, and it is completing its meiosis 2 when the sperm will fuse with the secondary oocyte. secondary oocyte, and this one is sperm. When sperm fuse with the secondary oocyte, then it is completing its meiosis 2. So this is true. The statement 1 is true and correct. And the statement 2, spermiogenesis occurs inside the seminiferous tubule. Dear student, here you should know the meaning of spermiogenesis. So spermiogenesis is nothing but the formation of matured motile sperms. That means the conversion of spermatid into the motile sperm cells. So that is called spermiogenesis. So that is occurring in the seminiferous, inside the seminiferous tubule. So the statement 2 also correct. So the correct answer is here, answer A, both true. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 14th. In a healthy woman, ovulation is inhibited if which hormone remains constantly high? Dear student, let's discuss about this clearly. As you know that what happens due to the estrogen increase, it gives signal to the pituitary, it releases LH hormone causing the ovulation, right? So after ovulation, so here ovulation is inhibited. That means what? Ovulation is not taking place. That means here the progesterone is a hormone which is secreted by the corpus luteum. So when it starts secreting the corpus luteum, so corpus luteum starts secreting when the woman is pregnant, right? So here, which hormone is inhibiting ovulation? So ovulation is not taking place means, that means what? The woman is pregnant. So the woman is pregnant means what? The progesterone level will be high. So because of that, this ovulation is not taking place. So the correct answer is here. Which hormone is constantly high means, the correct answer is here, the option B, progesterone hormone is high. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 15. A mutation causes Sertoli cells to become non-functional. Predict the most immediate consequence. Dear student, as you know that the Sertoli cells are located inside the seminiferous tubule, right? This is seminiferous tubule. So here these are Sertoli cells. And Sertoli cells are meant for what? Nourishment process, right? So here these are giving nourishment to the developing sperm. If these Sertoli cells are non-functional, that means they are unable to give this nourishment. What happens? The sperms are unable to get developed. That means what? The process, which process is inhibited here? The spermatogenesis process is inhibited. So the final answer is here, the option A, failure of spermatogenesis due to the lack of nourishment. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 16. A woman has 32-day menstrual cycle. Ovulation will most likely occur on the day. Dear student, as you know that usually ovulation is occurring on the 14th day. 14th day is ovulation occurring only in that case when the woman has 22-day menstrual cycle. Menstrual cycle. So here the question is women has 32-day menstrual cycle. So here what you should do is you should minus the 14 days from the 32-day menstrual cycle. So you will get the answer here. So that is what 18th. On the 18th day we can expect the ovulation in case when the woman has 32-day menstrual cycle. So like this you can even calculate for the 30 days menstrual cycle, 28 days menstrual cycle and 32-day menstrual cycle. So the correct option is here option C, that is 18. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the 17th question. Read the passage. A 30-year-old woman corpus luteum fails to degenerate even without the fertilization. Predict the result. Dear student, read the question properly here. See, a 30-year-old woman corpus luteum fails to degenerate. So as I told, corpus luteum is responsible for secreting the progesterone, right? The progesterone is getting secreted means it maintains the endometrium line, it intact the endometrium line. If endometrium line is maintaining, that means there is no menstruation, right? So for the menstruation endometrium should get breakdown. So here what result we can expect here, predict here, if the corpus luteum fails to degenerate, that means it starts secreting the progesterone, and even without fertilization, there is no any fertilization, and endometrium due to the progesterone endometrium is still intact, so there is no menstruation. So the result we can expect here, so not a pregnancy because there is no fertilization. We can expect, we can predict the result here, that is option B, menstruation delayed. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 18th. The table shows hormone level during pregnancy. Which statement is correct? Dear student, just observe the table here. There are two hormones given, human chronic gonadotropin and human placental lactogen. And three trimesters are mentioned here. During the first trimester, HCG level was high, and during second trimester, it becomes less, it gets decreases. And HPL, human placental lactogen, during first trimester it is high, and during second and third it gets increases. So which sentence, which option is matching with this column? Just read all the options here, and the option A, HCG decreases. So here if you observe, HCG is decreasing after placental hormone formation, after a placental hormone formation. So the option is correct. A option, HCG decreases after placental formation. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 19. Assertion. Only one sperm fertilizes an ovum. Reason. The zona pellucida prevents polyspermy after sperm entry. Dear student, just observe the structure here. Here it is the ovum structure and here it is the sperm. Yes, only one sperm fertilizes an ovum. Why? Because here the only one capable sperm able to penetrate the ovum. The sperm should have all the parts properly, and it should capable of motile also, and that sperm is capable of penetrate into the ovum, and it can able to enter inside the ovum. After entering that one sperm, the zona pellucida layer is there, no? That is a layer of ovum. There are different layers, corona radiata, zona pellucida, vital membrane. So these all are different layers. So this zona pellucida layer, that is undergoing cortical reaction, and that prevents the enter of other sperm inside the ovum. So that is why zona pellucida prevents polysperm. That means many sperm after the sperm entry. So both the assertion and reason here true. So the answer is A. Option A and R true. R explains A. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Solution. Let's solve the 20th question. If 10 million sperms are released and only 100 reach the ampulla, what percentage successfully reach the fertilization site? Dear student, this is a very easy percentage calculation question. Everyone can solve this question very easily. So for this, you should note down the total sperm releasing, that is 10 million. Okay, and then the sperms, number of sperms reaching the ampulla, that is 100. So for the percentage calculation, so here number of sperm by total sperm into 100, so you will get the answer, that is what, 0.001. So the final answer is here 0.001 percentage. So here you can observe the calculation properly. So here simple percentage calculation we are following. So we'll get the answer here. So the final answer is here answer A, 0.001% of the sperms are reaching the ampulla. Thank you. So here we are ending the second session and first session of the human reproduction. So 20th till 20th question we have discussed in today's session. In next session we are going to discuss the remaining questions. Thank you.